Hi guys, Terry here with Truth in Numbers. Good to see you. Wanted to come and talk a little bit about a couple of different things. Feelings, of course, and then communications. I was thinking about the lay of the land now, and since Friday for me, the lay of the land has changed significantly. The word I have for it, what I call this land, is freak show, land of the freak show. Not to minimize the severity of what's going on, because it is beyond anything I think any of us can imagine, really. But a lot of weird stuff is going on that's way outside the norms, way outside any action that the vast majority of Americans, I believe, would want to see happen to our democracy or constitutional republic or whatever we choose to call it. If everyone knew exactly what was going on, the vast majority of people would not be wanting what's going on. And in the midst of these nefarious people doing things and in consolidating power, we also have in this landscape these warehouses or factories of manipulation. So that would be the disinformation, the active measures, foreign-born or homegrown, unfortunately, and these buttons. They know the buttons that they can push anytime. There are different sizes and colors and shapes and styles for any number of people individuals throughout the United States. And they're out there pushing them. And just the events of the last week or two are enough buttons to push, right? So are enough emotions to have roiled up. And in the midst of this emotional chaos, it's important to remember that these emotions are a normal human response to the activities that we're aware of and that we're experiencing, whether we know it or not. And in the face of this emotional chaos, I wanted to kind of break out a little bit of my process with fear. So I was avoiding fear. I was avoiding feeling fear because I was like, well, I need to feel strong. I need to be strong. And that's true, but I can't white knuckle it. I'm not that kind of person for any lengthy perseverance time frame of solidity and strength. I have to process. And so I came to realize a couple of things, that not only was I feeling guilty for feeling fear, but I was also fighting feeling fear, because I was thinking a couple things. I was thinking I need to be strong, which I mentioned before, but also I was afraid that fear might define me. And the reality is that I was able to feel the fear, shed some tears, grieve a little bit, and break down and diffuse this fear. And I have come out the other side feeling stronger. So that's my process. I'm not saying it's for everybody, but that's kind of how I am wired and work. And we've heard this, potentially all of us, this most of us, this adage of that courage is not the absence of fear. It's acting in the presence of fear. So, or regardless of the fear. So something important to just say out there to remind us all that we can keep moving forward even if we lose our legs or have some fear. And if the fear ebbs and flows, whatever that looks like, we're marching forward. So in addition to that, I wanted to speak a couple of truths and end with some truths about feelings, emotions. But with all the bullies bouncing around, I think it's important that we not mistake kindness for weakness, softness for the lack of strength, emotions for frailty, because it's in feeling emotions that we are actually proving our strength, because it takes strength to feel. In feeling emotions, we are growing our adaptability. And in feeling emotions, we are expressing our humanity. I'd like to also add there that we're fostering our souls and the souls of those we come across throughout the day. So if we do both feeling and then do the gentle thing and the soft thing and the kind thing, we are in a position where we're more likely to bend and not break. And when we talk about bending and not breaking, I first learned about it from, I think it was a Pearl S. Buck book or a Willa Cather book about women who, it's just really important to be able to weather, the women over the ages on the prairie and elsewhere learn to weather the difficulties in life, and that is what makes a good life. So we are weathering this thing. It will be protracted most likely, and we'll weather it together, guys. But I wanted to talk about this breaking thing. So we want to bend, not break. And if and I'll speak for myself, if I start to get on the periphery, see or feel a breaking point, I want to apply support, professional help, other help, so that this breaking point moves off my radar, off my periphery, off my radar. So it's no longer a thing. I don't know what the breaking point would be. Otherwise, it could become bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it becomes an acute thing to address, and takes more energy. So, so that's kind of a gauge that I have. If that's helpful, great. If not, don't worry about it. And the other thing I would say is that for me, tonight, I have something for the household that I need to take care of, but then I'll be lightly going over some of the self-care things that I could apply in the coming week, because I know I need to take some time in the morning and later after work in the evenings to manage the emotions, this chaos of emotions going on right now, because we're most likely going to hear a lot of other stuff going on. So this just allows me to manage it a little bit better and to make sure that another day doesn't go by before I think about, what I could do, at least, if not plan it. And tonight, because it's going to be a very full night, I'm going to peruse self-care, think about it, and then plan more actively tomorrow when I have a little bit more bandwidth. So beyond that, before I start talking about communications and stuff like that, I just want to say we're here. This is it. This is what we've been afraid of for all this time. And things are happening. And the other thing I was thinking about, things are happening, and this is that thing that we've been afraid of all these years. But we're looking at it straight on, and I'm so proud. At least the media that I've been consuming, and I'm so proud of us for doing that. It's really, really good, and I really believe that we're gonna stare this thing down, and we're gonna take our anger, and we are going to mobilize, and we're gonna fight, and we're gonna persevere. So we're gonna find solutions to these problems that we're facing. So in closing, I want to talk a little bit about communications. I was watching Anand G, and Ruth Ben-Ghiat on a Substack Live at lunchtime today, and I was so glad to see it. It was really very good. And one of the two mentioned, why are we not seeing our government leaders addressing, like, hey, this is a coup. This is a coup. Now, I am out of internet now, again, for the second time in a short amount of time. And so I am not privy to any of the news tonight. If anybody's going on live and saying, hey, this is a coup and this is what they're doing and we're standing against it. So this could be old news by the time I get this posted. But we deserve leadership from Congress to speak truth about the wholesale consolidation of power that's going on right now. Not only those of us who are aware of it, but even the red staters too. It needs to be out publicly. And I don't understand really why that hasn't happened yet. I had heard years and years ago during the first administration that I had asked somebody, well, why isn't anybody being the leader and voicing publicly what's going on and where we're going and all the things? And that person said, well, mainstream media wouldn't air it. So I'm not sure if that's the issue or if there's another issue. What are the hurdles? That's what what are the objections to getting out front and center of this? Not just news clips, but an actual direct speaking to the public, fireside chats, but I want it standing up in front, in those power suits, telling it like it is. I want I want the fireside chat kind of format for this because this is a war. So it's a soft war. It's a rolling war, and half of us are blind, but we need you. We really do. And I don't know what the objections are. If MSM isn't going to handle it, then go to independent media. And if independent media isn't the reach that you want, then go to YouTube, because you will get millions and millions of people viewing this. And I don't know, and honestly, I would really like to know what the objections are, because I don't know if it's a thing where it's not professional enough, if it's a little gauche to go to YouTube. And I get it, because, of my age. So, but at the same time, YouTube's going to cut through. It's going to cut through, and it's going to reach a vast audience, and we need leadership. And honestly, I don't think that the MSM thing is an excuse anymore. I don't think it's a valid excuse anymore for not leading us and telling us directly that this is a coup. So, that being said, I know that the Democratic Party is aware that messaging is not optimum. And years and years and years ago, during the Obama administration, I sent a couple emails to the White House. I'm like, you need marketing. You're doing a lot of amazing things that we've been wanting to have happen, and nobody knows about it. It's just not cutting through. So here's a suggestion. Take it for what it is. Take it for the 10 cents or 2 cents that it is worth. But as a person who's been in industry and in the marketplace, there are marketing people and marketing agencies, and I would garner from 3 different pillars in that spectrum. I appreciate the people who work on comms, but it's not working. It's not working. Something has to be different. So I would pull from 3 different parts of the ad agency arena. I'd first pull from the tech industry, because they know things, but they also have to be very nimble, and things change a lot, and they're up on things. So I think that would be helpful in navigating a nimble environment, an environment where nimbleness would be important. I would also secondly pull from an ad agency that works with commodities, like Coca-Cola and Pepsi, that competition there, because you can't lean on features and benefits like policy and laws. You have to appeal to emotion. And that kind of ad agency, that kind of marketing person is wired to help the Coca-Colas of the world beat out the Pepsi-Colas, because you have to appeal to emotion. You have to come up with the thing that people are going to connect with. And that's going to determine, in that static market, it's not a growth market, it's a static market, and that's going to determine whoever has the best ad where people connect the more, that ticks up Coca-Cola or it ticks up Pepsi. The third person or third kind of marketing ad person I would get is somebody who thinks way outside the box. So that would be like the person who ran the Wendy's Twitter account, who was absolutely fabulous. Edgy, cuts through, humor, edgy. And whether you polish that or not, that viewpoint, those 3 together, I think would be a really good mix. So, what am I saying? There's not effective communication. We're an opposition party, but I want to propose an opposition leadership. I need to hear you guys. I think we as a country need to hear you guys. And I don't know whether it's gaucheness, or if that's a word, or if it's risk. Your risk is too high. But my goodness, fireside chat us, whether you're the president or not. Please. Anyway, you get my point. That's all for tonight. I am so glad you guys are out there. Thank you for the time. Thanks for listening. And as always, we'll see you next time. And let's be safe out there. Let's take good care of ourselves out there. And I'll see you soon. Bye now.